AdRoll effectively ends up processing almost all of the requests that are on the internet on a daily basis on all publisher sites and news sites. That amounts to about 70 billion requests on a single day. 1% of 70 billion is 700 million. So it's a lot of times, if you do something wrong 700 million times in a day, you wouldn't say that you're doing it particularly well. AdRoll necessarily, in order to operate as a business, needs to not make 700 million mistakes in a given day. It actually could cost over $1 million to make all of those mistakes. With a lot of machines running throughout the world, between 700 and 3,000 or at any point in time, or even more than those, it's very easy for something to go wrong in one place and just cause a complete domino effect in everything else. Every machine has a complicated network of decisions that needs to be made in order to result into a purchase of some traffic. And typically this flow is completely logged. This translates into about 7 trillion events that get logged on a daily basis and also get processed afterwards. And this is the core of our monitoring aspect. Whenever there is something unexpected, the first thing you want to do is go back in time and check if there was any release. And after the release is done, start to control, and you need to have documented all of this. Your release process needs to have a strict policy around documenting all of the changes made to a system, and you need to be able to track all of the releases that you make in production. So once you find the change set that went out in the previous event, you can start to analyze if any one of those changes is relevant for the particular error that has come up. And you can do that in many ways. You can look at all of the metrics, and everybody in the team quickly starts from the metrics, then looks at the backlog of changes that went out in the past release, and then quickly looking at all of the logs and all of the errors that have been generated to see if there is a correlation. Typically, the engineer touches almost all of the different monitoring tools that we have going around, from log entries to Sentry to Datadog to our own internal logging. Through that, they are able to get relatively quickly to isolating the root of the problem. And usually the trace, most of the time, points back to a specific change that was made in production. And then people can either choose to log into the machines and modify some configuration parameters, first in a few set of boxes or in one cluster out of the whole infrastructure. And then once they see that this improvement yields the desired outcome, then they can spread that change across all of the entire infrastructure, or they can choose to roll back the infrastructure. This allows us to have a little bit more certainty around the fact that the new release is not going to cause an immediate pain. And so this helps us with some peace of mind in rolling out the new release and making sure that everything is going to continue to work. Hey! While domino effects might be fun to look at, they are not great to clean up afterwards. And setting things up again afterwards is quite complicated. So we always need to be careful and vigilant around our monitoring so that we can prevent any one of those things from happening.